Hello, Doug here. Welcome back to yet another board game channel and yet another turn of Eldritch Horror, where we are doing all we can to prevent Syzygy from occurring. Still early days, so not much going on yet, although we already have two epic monsters. On the board, we have Phila, who will go on reckonings, will make one of us get attacked by a deep one. And over in Australia, we've got the TikTok men, who are part of a countdown rumor that could make everybody's clues just vanish. Hopefully we have a little while to deal with those. Fingers crossed. Alright, let's get right to it, and I've changed the lead investigator to Joe Diamond, so we'll zoom in on him and show you what he's going to do. Okay, here's Joe up in San Francisco. The reason I want him to go first is because I want to get him in a position where Norman Withers in Arkham can actually get a hold of this Opus Arcana, which will make it easier for him to cast spells, and he has 2 spells. So he seems the one to give it to. So, for Joe's first action, he's going to pick himself up a train ticket. You know what it looks like. For his second action, he's going to move and then spend the train ticket to extend his move so that he ends up in Arkham. Next up, we're going to go to Skids O'Toole down in Buenos Aires. Okay, there's Skids down in South America. Thinking, well, we've got to start getting relics from research encounters so we can start working towards our current mystery. I think actually for Skids' first action, I'm going to use his special action that lets him discard an item or trinket and gain one item or trinket from the reserve that is worth up to 1 more than its than the discarded one's value. I'm going to have him get rid of the fine jewelry, which does him absolutely no good whatsoever because he's only got 1 influence. However, I'm going to have him trade up to something a little more useful. Right. There, the Mysterious Tome, which will allow him, spending focus, to re-roll for those tests, lore and will. He'll get to roll 2 dice instead. That seems more useful to me, at least for Skids. So in the reserve, that is replaced by a 25 automatic. Roll 1 additional die when resolving a strength test during a combat encounter. That's not a bad thing to be replaced with, as we need weapons to take out these epic monsters. Alright, so for his second action, he is just going to move down to space 12, where we'll do a research encounter. Also hoping to maybe get him over to Antarctica to check out the expedition and maybe get some good stuff off of that. Okay, on to Mandy Thompson. Okay, Mandy's in the Pacific Ocean right now. For her first action, I'm going to do her special action again, where we get to spawn a clue. We draw 2, spawn 1, and discard the other. I'm just hoping to get some clues near, well, more towards where the bulk of our investigators are, because they're not really hanging out there much, the clues. So, we've grabbed 2 of them. Let's see what we've got. We have space 20, which is, yeah, going to be in Oceania, however one pronounces it, and the other one in Buenos Aires, neither of which is really all that close. Well, we've already got a nice cluster going on down where Skids is, so I'm going to put number 20 on the board and discard the other one for now. And for her second action, I'm just going to get Mandy to move. So she's going to go off the board like that, and around to Tokyo, where the most common possibility doing Tokyo cards is defeating monsters. Maybe we can get rid of that ridiculous ghast over in London, so we can do something with that gate. Alright, that leaves us with Norman Withers. Alright, there's Norman, still in Arkham, hanging out with Joe Diamond. So for the first action, he is going to do a trade action with Joe Diamond and grab himself the Opus Arcana, which does not want to focus. There we go. Yeah, which will give him a +2 when resolving spell effects. And for his second action, I think we are going to go ahead and use his Feed the Mind spell, because he's going to be much better at it all of a sudden. Does not want to focus. There we go. That'll allow him to test his lore -1 and increase a skill of his choice for either himself or Joe Diamond. So that's going to be rolling 4 dice. His lore of 3, -1 for the spell, with +2 for the Opus Arcana, and let's see. Yeah, just 1 success. Yeah, just 1. And what I was going to do was, I'm going to increase Joe Diamond's influence up to, put a +1 on that to get it up to 4, so we can get more stuff out of the reserve, get some goodness helping us. But now we have to flip the Feed the Mind card. Resolve the effects based on your test result. 1. A wealth of knowledge overwhelms your mind. The chosen investigator, that would be Joe, loses 1 sanity. Then flip this card. That's too bad for Joe. Leaves him with 3 sanity. Hopefully that will be enough for now. So that ends the action phase, and now on to the encounters. First for the encounters is going to be Joe Diamond in Arkham. He doesn't need to gain incantation spells. I think we're going to make Norman our spellcaster, so we're just going to do a generic city encounter. See if we get lucky. The local Silver Twilight Lodge is under investigation by the police. The lodge members will gladly contribute their magic to your cause in exchange for a favor. You may gain an agreement condition to gain 1 boon condition. How? Agreement conditions aren't nearly as bad as, of course, dark pacts. So I think maybe, yeah, let's go ahead, because it is also always possible to try to get rid of an agreement condition. So, Joe will have this agreement condition. It's a local action, contest his now increased influence. -1. If you pass, you may spin 2 clues to discard the card. Well, he's got to have clues to do it. Anyway. On reckoning, roll 1 die. On a 1 or 2, the time has come to pay your dues. Flip the card, and hopefully it's just a little something rather than something huge, because that is possible. However, in exchange, we get a boon, so let's draw off the bottom and see what we get. And we do get Righteous. When you perform a focus action or a rest action, gain 1 focus or recover 1 sanity. And on a reckoning effect, we may flip the card. That implies that there's potentially something good on the back. Anyway, yeah, you could use a little sanity recoverage now. Recoverage? That's not a word. Recovery now. Okay, that's Joe. Now let's head down to Skids. Okay, there's Skids in the middle of the Antarctic Ocean. And he's going to go for a research encounter. On a sea space, you attempt to hold your breath and reach the submerged treasure. Going to test his will, which is 3. This and okay, 1 success, but that's all we need. Okay, if you pass, you discover tablets indicating that ancient civilizations knew much of astronomy. Gain this clue. If you fail, you nearly drown. Good thing we didn't fail. Alright. So Skids gains the clue, but also, as per our mystery, after an investigator resolves a research encounter, he may spend 1 clue gained from that encounter to gain 1 relic unique asset. So the clue goes away. And we will grab the unique assets and start choosing from the bottom. Tome. There we are. Magical relic. The mysterious idol. When you gain this card from the deck, gain 1 clue. Oh, well, that's handy. And on a reckoning, the idol reveals its true purpose to you. Flip this card. We do want to have an opportunity to flip it, because that will allow us to work towards our mystery. There's that. We'll grab him another random clue. And yeah, that went fairly well for Skids. Let's see what happens to Mandy in Tokyo. Alright, Mandy is going to have a Tokyo encounter. Tokyo. You pull some strings with the Silver Twilight Lodge, them again, to help Detective Kogoro Akechi solve a case. Influence -1. Her influence is 3, so she's only going to get to roll 2 dice. She does have a focus. Okay, let's spend the focus. See what we get. Hey, we rolled a 6. Good on Mandy. If you pass, he is impressed and offers you his case files in exchange for your help on another matter. Gain 1 old journal unique asset and 1 task unique asset. All right. Give me a second to dig those out. All right. So she gets an old journal, which as an action she can test her observation, which is pretty good. It's her strongest at 4. If you pass, you discover information that may prove useful to your cause. Flip the card. All right. And this is going to add to her previous task. She'll now have 2. What you get? Sealing the Old Ones. When you pass a lore test while resolving a spell effect, you may discard that spell after resolving its effects to place one Eldritch token on this card. Then you may flip the card. Well, she doesn't have any spells, so I don't know if she'll end up using that or not. But we shall see. The old journal would be a good thing. Alright, that leaves us with Norman Withers. Alright, that leaves us with Norman Withers in Arkham, who is going to take an Arkham encounter. See if he can get even more spells. Let's see. A strange man at the bank is unable to pay his mortgage. He is willing to sell you an antique book of magic. Okay, it'll be influence -1, which means he's rolling 1. Okay, fingers crossed. No, a 1. There's somebody who could re-roll 1s. Yeah, it's Skids. It's not. All right, he's got a focus token. See if we can do this. Hey, exact opposite. We got a 6. So, if you pass, the book proves highly illuminating. Gain 1 non-ritual spell and 1 random tome asset from the deck. Wow, if you fail, not an issue. Okay. Let's look for those rewards. Alright, the spell he got was Wither, which is an incantation. When resolving a combat encounter, you may test lore. If you pass, gain +3 during that encounter, then flip the card. That's going to be coming useful. We may send him off after a monster after all. And the random tome we got was, appropriately enough for our astronomer, an astronomy guidebook. When you close a gate during an otherworld encounter, recover 1 sanity and gain 1 clue. Alright, that was a fairly successful round of encounters. Now let's move on to the much less successful Mythos phase. Alright, here we go, and yes, it's our other rumor. Well, at least we know there are no more rumors coming. This is going to be it. So first thing that happens is 2 clues spawn. I'm going to have them on space 1 and space 16. So northern Russia and Alaska, basically. I'm going to put a rumor token on space 2. Space 2 has been very popular. And we'll be putting 4 Eldritch tokens on the card. Here we are. The strange phenomenon is an echo of the catastrophic destruction of Mu. The repercussions of the serpent people's overreaching ambition still take their toll. Fortunately, it's another on the easy side rumor, which the other one was, because it's got the snowflakes. Fractured reality. As an encounter, an investigator on Space 2 may use an ancient portal created by a long-dead wizard of Mu. He resolves an otherworld encounter. If the effect allows him to close this gate, solve the rumor instead. Well, that's not too bad. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, advance Doom by 1 for each gate on the game board, which could also not necessarily be bad, depending on the number of gates. And yes, on every reckoning, we will count down and discard an Eldritch token. We may be slightly lucky that we got 2 easy rumors here. Of course, there's still rumors that we need to deal with. Alright, that wraps up this turn. Yeah, not bad, not great, but you very rarely have great turns in Eldritch Horror. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching and liking and subscribing and all the other good things. I appreciate it, and we will see you next time. So long.